God bless you, everyone who makes it today, and everyone that can make it later today. It's all good. God bless you too. And Mike, that I hear can never comment. I'm sorry about that. Uh, because it'd be great to hear from you. So first, let me start out by saying, man, this hurricane whole triple thing was extremely difficult, and I'm still kind of coming out of it. And so, your support that you've given the Poe family, Pamela, Pam, George, uh, you know, it's just, it's funny. I've been doing this Liberty Aid Academy work many years, and finally come over and like, let me just, I really need to get this truth out, and just the support's been the only thing that has made it so I can actually do it. So I just can't thank you enough. I it's kind of overwhelming because it never happened before. I've just had to ever really. No one's ever really supported my work like this, and it makes it so I can do it and really focus on it. So I just want to say thank you to those people helping with that and allowing it to happen. Thank you very much. Pamela. And Mike, hey, I would have, you're helping me through these storms and before the storms and making it so I can live in this place. Thank you. So, yeah, thank you for all your prayers, Alan, Pauletta. I just really, I can't say enough how much I appreciate the support and that you actually make this happen. Because it wouldn't happen otherwise. So you're making this happen directly. So, and I just want to say that because, God is always watching, and who's helping, bring the truth to light is who's really helping do it. So, you know, uh, okay. We got a lot to cover today, as usual. So let's get into this, okay? But that's the first and most important thing for this whole thing. This whole game is based on your actions. What you support, what you put your time into, what you care to make your life based on your actions. That is how you receive your outcome. So, I do my best to bring you useful information, the truth, and make it about God, and the support that I receive will be, reflected back on you infinitely, now and the day that it really matters. So it's just not my thanks, but it's, an understanding of the situation on your end, and I appreciate it on my end. So let's keep this going. Thank you very much. Let's get into some real stuff today because people are living their lives and they're encountering spiritual situations, and I'm going to give them the information they need today to get happily through the things they need to get through and get to God, during, before, during, and after the whole way. Just skate right on through and be with God. Okay, so let's get you that information. So you always make informed decisions on your actions. That's all I'm here for. I can't act for you, but I can give you the information. So it's like, oh, hey, that was easy. All right. Let's just go through this in not exact particular order. But the name of this, I named it Apostate and Instant God. So Apostate, if thanks to Alan, we were following what happened today in the Liberty Aid Academy excuse me, forum. And someone quickly righted their, like, my boat turtled, and they quickly righted it and got the sail up, I can't be posting stuff in there that I don't have my own proof of outcome. And so, this comes from a good place or whatever. Sometimes maybe it's impossible to tell, but it's not helpful. And so that holding that standard in there, and just with my work of, you have to have proof, and reorganizing that individual around to show, here's my proof that I sound to trust, and I won't do that again. That's fine, because everyone makes mistakes until they know the truth. And so it was like, hey, cool, you made a mistake, it's all good, don't worry about it, because he corrected it immediately, and that's all I care about, like, that's it. It wasn't a intentional, willful thing. It was a lack of understanding because of our horrible programming, of to accept fairy tales instead of the truth. That's an acceptable area because it's programmed into us by God's putting us in here. God is putting us in here. So, you know, that's the situation. So that one has to be forgiven if they get over the line and, oh, I see the difference now. And so, fantastic that that's what happened. And it is possible to be forgiven and and remove the situation of being apostate, but only while you're alive. Only while the situation is happening. After that, you didn't come to your senses. But this was an immediate situation of someone coming to their senses and realizing, oh, this isn't Facebook, or this isn't life. This is a totally new way to live my life, based on the truth and so on. So, and it matters how I speak to and interact with my brothers and sisters. I can't just say things I wish were true. I have to say things that are true. And so that was a speedy spiritual journey that we all got to witness, um, which we all must do at some point. So it was great to see someone come around kind of like live and all that. And, you know, what a careful um watcher Alan is, to watch out over everyone as a shepherd. He's not just watching out for himself, he's watching over everyone else. I mean, you're, you're, you're that's how you get in this mutual hierarchy. You know, uh, but it played out. Um, just perfect to bring up a flaw and then allow it to play itself out, and have not Alan like jump in the middle of it, and be patient, let it work itself out, knowing that there's just the same way everyone gets treated fairly. Hey, I'll treat them all the same. Hey, you're out, you're going to hell. Oh, you have proof? Okay, you're back in. What I'm saying? It's okay. Yes. Something about Mirababa called Perfect Master, like as hard as iron and as soft as butter. You have to be both. You have to hold the line, because everybody did a different standard. What, based on looks or age or locate? Like, no, that's how could that work out? That can't work out. And so everyone has the same standard, just your actions, proof, and so on. So that's the standard that God will hold us to on the day. So it's time to get doing that all day, every day, so we can wipe our slate clean and be like, okay, even. Whoop, got the debits and credits even out. The scales are even. Don't throw me back in there. Okay, so uh, let's get into each thing that we have to get into here. Um, well, let's just start with the day. Fall back, right? The time. Fall back. Sorry, you didn't make it. Fall back. I mean, the time is telling you that you're coming back. You're going to reincarnate. Fall back. And when, right? Spring forward. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, go to God instead. Very interesting, right? Okay. But, 9/11, that's a date, and that's in the fall. That's when they fall, get cast under the dome. Everyone. That's how we got here. But we got to leave too. And so there is a way to leave. And you're all are on that path. Let's stay on that path and keep going. Good job so far. So let's we have to look at the rest of the Christians. We have to look at the rest of the Christians. We have to. It's unfortunate that we do, but we have to do it because it's not enough to just walk around and say Jesus Christ. It isn't. It's not based. That's why every time I see the preachers down the beach, I'm like, it's not talks of the apostles, it's acts of the apostles. What do you not get? What have you done? You should be you should be up here talking about what you've done, not a book. That doesn't work. And the book isn't what they should be following, a Christian preacher, right? They should be following a section of the book called the New Testament, because that's when Jesus Christ comes. Christ, you know, is the title. Oh, you run the place, okay? So then I'm going to follow you. Christ, be Christian. Okay, I'm going to follow what Christ is saying. Okay, that makes you Christian. Good. So that means nothing in the Old Testament applies. What applies is when he comes into the book in the New Testament. It's just like that. So an example being, I think we went over a little bit last week about, a man and a woman become twain, and have a child, and they watch over that child. That's as God sees it, the highest uh, work that humans can do. Period. Is stewarding another soul and a body in here. It's what this whole thing is about. So it's really the most important thing that happens. Um, so when a soul comes into a body and you want to get him to God, like that's what sort of all these pieces are going to come together and talk about today. What are we going to mainly talk about today? The main thing is, what do you do when a new soul enters a body, and a baby is born? What do you do? What can you do? What are options, right? We talked about the option of creating a person, so let's talk about the option. Oh my god, it just stopped the video sound. I'm gonna check my internet. They turned it off last week when I was doing this. They turned off the internet. So hold on. Now I'm still on. I must be on. Hopefully Frank and Gina is on your end. It looks like I'm running here. At this point, I got a white light on my little internet box. But thanks for the heads up. If it continues, I'll restart again, and we'll split it up into two like we had to do last week. So frustrating. Refresh, so you're back. Okay, good. Okay, no repeat of last week. Okay, let's keep going. So it's really you can hear. Thank you, Pam. So this is a really difficult thing to obviously to them, the in God we trust truth, right? And like getting that paperwork is all that matters. When man, we don't care if your baby is born, and yeah, blah blah blah. Sign the paperwork. It's like what? What is that's like? What did you just say? So we're taking a free corporation is what we're doing, but what could we be doing differently? Um, or in addition to, doing that, right? And so let's get down to the basics, back to the Christian preachers. I was saying, you're just supposed to be following the New Testament, right? And when someone comes, right, to Jesus Christ, what does it say? What does it say about that? Let's see. John 13:5, King James Version. Oh, let's do 4 and 5. John 13:4 and 5. He riseth from supper, and laid aside his garments, and took a towel, and girded himself. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. It's the only washing with water that happens in the New Testament. So, what happened at that moment is Jesus redefined what baptism is. And, you're supposed to follow Jesus. You're not supposed to do what John the Baptist said. That's like, okay, that's cool, whatever. That's the story of why Jesus had to come, and he was polite enough not to really get into it with John the Baptist, like, hey, that was cool and all, but here's where you messed up. You have to kneel to baptize anyone. You have to kneel. You have to kneel. Who's you? You and me, you, and everyone else in here is powerless without God's help. Completely powerless. What does Mir Baba say? Hopeless and helpless. You're helpless and helpless. Perfect. I'll be hearing from you soon. That's he's like, increase the hopelessness and helplessness. Okay, there you. Oh, that's the maximum wattage. They'll be calling in soon. That's the way it works, you see. So if you're not following, if you're preacher, Christian, church, if you're not kneeling and then washing someone's feet, if you have another method of baptism, then you think for you're doing something instead of God is doing something. God is the one who extends the grace, right? Not people. Not people. What? You kneel to beg God. I can do nothing. This soul here wants to be with you. And so you wash their feet and pray for them to be with God, Jesus Christ. That name, because that's the name of God. This is the guy and this is what you do. Every knee must bow, every tongue confess. Okay, so go with number one. Jesus is, infinity times infinity and no losses. Okay, I'm with you. So I'm sorry, but if a church isn't doing that, like, what are they doing? Like, they obviously know. It's not like it's such a complex book. They don't know. They know. So, because you can talk to them and explain it to them and say, well, you're not doing what Jesus did, and you're just sitting here saying Jesus Christ all day. Everyone makes mistakes. It's okay. I'm just pointing out you have to do it this way because that's the way he did it. And if they don't do it, well, they're not Christian, and I've never seen them do it ever. To any preacher I've talked to, whatever, they never do it. Oh, that's right. There was one exception one day. I said it on Siesta Key, and I said, that's not the way Jesus did it. And this one young lady immediately said, do you want me to do it to you? And I said, no, it's not whether I wanted to. It's you're out here doing this work. You're supposed to be doing this for anyone. It's like that. But she didn't have, like put a towel or something around her, like, to do that. She didn't do that. She only, washed my feet, which was good enough for me at the time to not go to Siesta Key for another 6 months. I took a break. I was like, okay, if you wash feet, fine. Well, I went back and they weren't doing it. So I was like, they're always, they never learn. So it was a really big thing when someone learned today and decided not to be apostate. So, oh, wow, that's rare. Because face to face, they just never do it. I don't see them do it. So, but that's important to know and to see the pattern that we're up against. Um, oh, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna just stick with the main point, and then I'll do some whole bunch of little things at the end here. Because I want, in case people have questions, I want to make sure we have time to work through them. Okay. So a new child comes through a woman, and someone's born, a soul gets into a body. At that moment, they want paperwork on the end God we trust. Oh, we got that soul. Boom. You know, we got jurisdiction because there's nothing else. Well, so we talked about the making of the person and how, okay, that's just the making of a person, but if it's the only documents, can become a problem. So you definitely want to, that day they show up, you know, at least sign, if not sign and notarize. They can get a notary in the hospital, so why can't you? But anyway, at least it would be best to make sure that that individual becomes a beneficiary of your family trust that you're running. You know, it's very important to do that, because then there's another document. I started off down this road myself when I had you know, my little step grandson, one step removed from my power, uh, come through a body, and I created a document so there wouldn't just be, you know, that document, and it never got signed. But it is a valid document, and it's very simple. And so I wanted to read it today, and if necessary, I'll send it, you know, to the uh, parties that need it. Uh, but it's really kind of a simple document that I put on the top of it: appointment of beneficiary dash certificate of live birth. Right, date, time, place. This document hereby appoints, and then the name of the new individual goes there. This document hereby appoints blank space, put the name in there. Then it says born alive, comma, son of da 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 da, right? As beneficiary of the da 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 trust, irrevocably taking Jesus Christ as his or her, in this case, sole authority and intercessor. And it would be signed by both parents, and at least, you know, uh, two witnesses, I would say, after that is best. So, two witnesses and the two parents. And that's the document I created for this situation. So I just wanted, it's never come up before, and it's come up now, and I wanted to say that this for sure seals the deal, right? A very short document, only speaking of the spiritual aspect of this, and then its relationship to the trust that's already signed. And so it negates any spiritual aspect, of which is not really written, is it? In the NGAWE documents, trust document. It's not really in there. So, but they're like, oh, then this applies to all these other laws, and then they got you like that. So, same with this. That person, then, oh, okay, it relates to all them laws and so on and so on. But no, we're talking about a live individual here. And so that part is just sliced away, and that, you know, goes to, you know, Jesus Christ, and that's that. It's a simple and clear method, and I experienced such an unusual evening trying to get this document to the room in the hospital where this was happening. I walked so far round and round in places in this maze in a hospital. Uh, I don't know if it was constantly changing, but it was down hallways. It was, and I walked through it, like, you know, not by myself, like, you know, the partner's walking, the grandmother's walking with me, and we're both like, what is going on here? You know what I'm saying? And it was a document that was not destined to be signed. And all of this dome made that happen. And it was such a just one more thing to witness. It is at the time kind of semi overwhelming. I was like, what? Uh, because well, that's not up to me. The law of karma is based on individual actions, and oh, you're the guy, so you have power. I can't. I don't have power over your actions or someone else's. I don't. I have knowledge. What does Mayor Baba say? Perfect masters only have the truth to give. They can't act for you. What? Are you talking about? You see, the actions must be taken. What did it say? The mother, father, sign, and then two witnesses, right? Grandparents, whatever, standing around, whoever, you know, uh, whoever cares enough to be there and loves that new one coming through, and signs, and God is your witness. So, very, super simple piece of paper, but try and make that happen. You're gonna see something. So, it's equally important to have the discussion about the in God we trust in person and not all that nonsense. We had it, okay? It wasn't actually that important to have it. This is a more important discussion, you see? Sure, it don't matter to have a person if you have a trust, right? So this is the same thing. Then this, individual coming through has a trust. And watched over by God. So instant God, right? So we talked about apostate and then talked about is to God. But if you could fix the apostate, that's instant God too, right? Because that's what this is. The soul's coming through a body, and it's like, okay, not much time left. Must be someone coming to the Poe family. Oh, wow. Who gets signed up when they show up? I'm gonna say it's the first, and I'm gonna say it might be the only item, but it's definitely the first if it happens. So as far as I know, it's the first. I've never given away this document or this idea or this concept to anyone. So it's never been brought up to me to do so. And I've seen the power in it, and the people that, follow the truth and are willing to listen to it and act on it, those people I care about giving it to. So a very simple thing to do, but we willfully commit our child to right back to you, God, and we'll do our best to watch over them. And that's what you need, and you need the paperwork for it. So, and a conscious, willful decision, witnessed by others. Okay, the hive witness, everyone here, everyone. Okay, got it. From day one, we're all good, and this one is watched over, and there ain't nothing anybody can do to this light of the world, and nobody's gonna, shut it out, and that's that. So I wanted to talk about that and have a clear, enough time to get feedback, and I don't mean just in this live show. If anybody wants to, mess, whatever comes up. Okay. So, but I think this is really important that people get it. All right. Oh, let me see if I have anything else that relates directly to that. Oh, that's awesome. Great. Yeah, no. I got you, homie. Oh, okay. Let's go back to this baptism thing for a second. Okay. That's the document. That's the method. Super simple. On lockdown. You got questions? I'm here. You got thoughts? Whatever, I'm here. But that thing's on lockdown. That's simple. Okay. Okay, that baptism, it's, uh interesting about the fabric that Jesus like puts that around his waist. So when I lived in Taos, New Mexico, there's the Taos Pueblo there has, you know, it's a spiritually aligned tribe, you know. Uh one um tradition that they have is to wear is for men only, and sorry. At some point, a man is expected to spend an entire year of their life 100% in service of the pueblo. And in order to notify everybody that that's happening, so wherever they go, they're supported by the whole community because they are working for the whole community. So let's say you go to get gas or something like that, the gas station person will be like, oh, they're working spiritually for the whole community. So, somebody can walk up and like pump them the free gas, or, they wear a piece of cloth, even if they're wearing long pants or whatever, they wear a piece of cloth sort of, like like a very short skirt over whatever they're wearing, just so they can be seen. You see, it's a visual that allows, in a subtle way, just for you to go about your whole business all day long and be noticed by the entire the community for what you're doing. So, if you're not doing well, you're gonna hear about it, um, and you're supposed to be supported by the community directly because that's absolutely what you're doing. And if you're not doing it, somebody's going to say something. Here's how you need to improve. So, what an interesting, caring way to be is what I thought. And also, to me, that's why, when I go to the drum circle, I dance to the drum circle. I don't wear a shirt. I don't wear no clothes. I wear like a bathing suit, and then I wear a cloth over it. And it also cuts off. It's a visual reminder to the individual to cut off the bottom chakra. No matter who you see, I'm a man, so oh, normally normal attraction to women, like you would never, use your spiritual position for any sexual reason. So it's wearing it over the area of your bottom chakra as a reminder to you as the servant, you know, to never let that happen. So, so it's that too. You see what I'm saying? Um, you're serving others. So to me, that part is absolutely in there that Jesus does. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to do the spiritual work. So he cuts off the bottom chakra, the sexual portion of himself, and kneels and asks God for God's help. I'm not doing this here because I'm attracted in any way to them or anything like that. And that's kind of the opposite of another type of baptism, isn't it? Like, uh, you know, men are visual, women are attracted by the way they look, and so dunking them in water is so annoying to me. To because you have real people with real hearts trying to get to God. They're going to a church. They're trying to get to Jesus Christ, and they get mistaught. you know uh, by all these preachers as well. So at some point, I'm gonna have to go out there instead of it's not working. Talking to the preachers is not working. They're just like, dink, nothing. Don't you follow Jesus? This is what they don't care. They don't care. This is how you baptize. Okay. Okay, so you're not into Jesus. You're into doing what you're told. Okay. Okay. You're one of the. What t-shirt? Thank you, Dee Dee. Like, what is wrong with you people? Like, thank you. Like, what a lack of respect for women, their vulnerability, and their situation, and their desire to get to God. Just the whole thing twisted up and ruined. I hate it. Uh, what a disservice to women. Um, you know, in a moment of vulnerability, you disserve them. That's typical of them. Anyway, I hate it. I do. It's not doing what he did. It's not even having a basic understanding of why he did it. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. Yeah, shame indeed. So it's no good. No good at all. It is a demonic ritual, and you know that women are doing it from their heart. They're not looking at the structure of the thing carefully enough to see that it doesn't work, so they're easily led astray. It's horrible. So that's another thing to do, right? Immediately when a new individual shows up in a physical body, a baby shows up, and what do? Do what Jesus said immediately, right? Yeah, get the paperwork right. Sure, sure. Do it. They want paperwork, so okay, we need this other paperwork. Fine, 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 fine. Debits and credits, we cancel you out. Done. Now, now that you quit pushing your freaking paperwork all day like that matters. Now we'll get on to what matters, right? Like you got a countervailing paper. Oh, here's a new baby. You kneel, you wash their feet, and you ask for God to watch over them, and that God bless them in the name of Jesus Christ. There's a new soul here that's with you. That's it. You see? That's it. That's it. Okay. This is simple stuff. It can be done in end of the world time issues. Earthquake and so that thing will be here in like 14 seconds. Better kneel down and wash the feet. Yeah, better get on it. These super fast rituals that you say God's name in is an understanding of human nature. Oh, I gotta push you to the brink. Great. So that you better get down on your knees. You're on your knees. They're wet. But to the intelligent people in here that are like, oh, okay, I could read a book. That's what Jesus did. That's not very complex. Okay, I did it. And I did it for the right reasons. I did the right actions. Done. Okay. So I thought that this new soul coming through would be a great opportunity to discuss all these important details. George, the show Insatiable, it's a comedy, okay. Shows is perfect. Oh, baptism becomes what you what? Series whatever, I haven't seen that, I don't know this show, but this is great. Not really a show I wanna recommend, but has many spiritual hits. Yeah, but that's why they put these things out there. Comedy is like making fun of us. Look at how easily you're programmed to can't see the truth. I mean, I've interrupted a large baptism at Siesta Key Beach, with a bunch of, standing around. I was like, I was swimming in the water and I walk out and they're doing this right in front of me. Dozens of people supposed to, I'm like, that's not how you do it. Like I had to tell them, I now to wash one of these preachers' feet. They still wouldn't do it. They still wouldn't do it. They still wouldn't do it. So I'm like, I'm done talking it up. I'm just done. But yeah, George. Anyway, I can help the people. I can lead, you know, the people that drink water to water. There's no point in leading anyone else to water, to God, the ocean above the firmament. You lead a horse to water, but can't make it drink, right? So yeah, the people maybe it's because they don't drink water. That's what I finally realized. Why is this horse not drinking water? Oh, you don't drink water. That's not what I thought you would happen when we got at the water. The main character have his evil twin inside her. Oh my goodness. That's right. That sounds fun. Insatiable. I'm gonna write that one down. I like it. I like I like spiritual I like spiritual jokes. Sometimes we need to laugh at our situation. We really do. And when we get to the humor side, we win. Like it's like, okay, it's all just a tunnel of love situation where not actually it's just scary stuff, but they don't actually. Oh, okay, cool, cool. Then I'm happy. Okay, let me make sure we don't have anything else related to the new one coming through. I'm as bad as Jesus. I don't like if the little wizard have like whatever. I'm gonna go play with them. So I'm the same way. I just care about the little ones the most. Uh, and oh, George, I didn't know if you're here, but man, that your support is invaluable. I said it at the beginning. I don't know if you're here, dude, but seriously, your donations, your support, and send a mail and Hippo family. I mean, it's just anyway. I did a long thank you in the beginning, but here you are. So thank you. Let me keep going. Um, yeah. Well, you throw your support behind, right? Your debits and credits get it out up at the end, and y'all are looking good. Thank you. Uh, I have a bunch of list of signs and symbols stuff we're gonna get into here in a minute, but I just want to make sure 100% cover this new baby coming through thing. I don't want to leave one thing out. So I want to like triple check. Seriously. Uh okay. Nothing else. Have you ever noticed that birds in the air are like crosses? You know? Have you ever noticed that interesting that birds are shaped like crosses? But they're in the air, like where he's coming from. Like, isn't that interesting? Signs and symbols. How about this? Like, we're talking about numbers or letters and all these signs and symbols. Okay, how about the number sign, right? Uh, if you have any questions on bringing a new baby through and stuff like that, like I'm here not just in this one, but as we go forward. Okay, that really matters to me. I'm gonna get into the rest of this, but okay, all right. Is it possible to get a copy of the template? Uh, Yeah, 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 yeah. If somebody puts in the spiritual section, right, in the JCT section of, the classroom we got in there, hey, remember, we need that link for the appointment of beneficiary and live birth certificate. If somebody makes a post in there, I'll drop it in there on that post. Okay, I'll put the document in there. Cool. Okay. That way, everyone will, have access to the same exact thing. Okay. All right. Good question. Thank you. I way to think for others. I appreciate that. Uh, yeah. Yeah. No. No. Thank you all for thinking of that. So let's finish up with these. Yeah. No. Keep interrupting me if anything else comes to mind on how to do this. Okay. Uh, that's weird you say that about birds. I just saw a short video of a woman in New York saw a bird dead with the wings completely out. That's he's coming. Every message here is he's coming. Every single message is he's coming. There's nothing that doesn't say anything but he's coming. That's all anybody is saying with every sign and symbol. She came out of the store and a man had his face. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the wings spread out. It is fascinating, you see, right? Aloe, what are your thoughts on having a baptismal certificate from you via Jesus Christ Trust? That's fine. That's a good idea, and actually relates to one more thing that I wanted to say is I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make that baby shower, but absolutely want to make a baptism for whatever for that child. You see what I'm saying? I do. So yeah, that's a great idea. That is a great idea. I haven't done a Noah's House about it, so I haven't created it, but that's a great idea. Great, 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 great. Just like your thoughts on, yeah, dude, your thoughts are in the right direction. Same the way that a county asks for, hey, what's your overarching, lineage of your church and spiritual hierarchy you're a part of as a parsonage? Yes. Same this way. You're right. Could be a document for other people to apply in these baptized. Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, dude. You're it's great to have you aboard, man. Seriously. Uh you just always chop away every little everything until you're right at all that matters. I love it. That way documents come through the spiritual work. Exactly. 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 You're it's just so careful and so useful that way. And if they deny him, oh, whoa, one to them. That's exactly it. So, there's a deep understanding of the entire process we're under and how it occurs, right? If honestly, if there's no spiritual hierarchy, there's no way out for anyone. It's what a horror. That is the ultimate horror, and the ultimate horror of these churches and stuff. Once you find out the truth, you're like, they don't have a pathway. There's no way out with them. It's like so. I don't even know. It's so deflating. Deflates the dough, makes the saint show up. God raises up an individual during the game, you know, and makes it obvious. And that's the way the spiritual hierarchy is done. What exists, the game exists. And so you know, the hierarchy behind the game, right? Oh, you're running the roller coaster. Okay. You're the hierarchy because you're running the roller coaster. Okay. Yeah, that exists. But so winning the game, that gets played out. That happens as you go. You see? So you're witnessing it in real time. Somebody uh now twice in a row, Alan, uh, trying to solve his property tax situation, realizing the lineage needs to be in there of the church, that they understand a church, not just a hierarchy, not just saints and so on, but they recognize that. And so to do that and apply it then again in this is a true understanding of and respect of the other team. You see what I'm saying? Oh, you need your documents in such a way. Hey, no, yeah, here you go. It's an acceptance and a forgiveness at the same time to use their methods close enough. Okay, you're forgiven. You made a process. You're forgiven for misusing it. Let's use it the correct way. So they're forgiven in that process, you see, of doing it the right way. But in the future, they're not. In the future, they're not forgiven if they don't use the method that's actually been created and available inside creation. So it also, the metronome is like tick, tock, and then you'd make these documents like tick, 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 tock, tick, 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 tick. The tempo change, getting closer. So no, it's true understanding of our situation to yeah, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna work through that. I'll put that up and we'll work through what that needs to be. And we'll do it in real time so that people can have an understanding of the creation process and who's involved in it and what it can mean, and see if you get anything from God, a message that will become useful during the process. You witness it here, Ali gets a message. Da, da, da. Here it is. And so I'm trying to create, not that you have to listen to me or some spiritual hierarchy forever. Opposite, opposite, opposite. Eventually, that brings you to God. You hear directly from God. Okay. now you're your service. If you're still in your body, you're people got questions, and you're here to help them. So, and this is actual help. This is a refining of the basic principles which I have into a respect for the situation and creating documents that can work within them. So you can see that someone has come far, 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 far. And a lot of people have in here, not just an individual, but I'm talking to a lot of people that are very spiritually advanced. And so slicing out the pieces that you could see are an advancement allows you to do the same, I hope. Okay. Signs and symbols. The number sign, right? So 4 times 4 times 4, 64. Like the box in the middle is a 4. It is surrounded by 4. And then there are 4 triangles around the edge, so that are, like, out there. So it's everything, almost every sign and symbol is a calendar, you see? He's coming. So another way is it's the date. Well, it's not just talking about a date, it's talking about him, right? He's coming. So even we is saying 33 spin the things that is 33. It's not really them. We serve him. Oh, yeah, okay, okay, it's saying both. But the true service to him is to break with your script and bend the knee and serve man, you are. But ultimately say, okay, I'm with him. You kill me, whatever. I'm going to go to him. Even they have to break ranks. Everyone has to break that rank. I come directly to him. Okay. Uh, okay. Let's just talk about this for a second. This is going to get real practical here soon. The electric car thing, right? Oh, hey, but electric or not, let's just talk about this. Oh, man, my iPhone is what? Right? Very useful. So would a car be if it just showed up at your door and you're like, give me you know, like a Lyft, a Uber. It's like, no, it's not, $40 or something to go somewhere. It's like four. Would you take it instead of using your car? You're like, that's pretty cheap, That's cool. Okay. How technologically advanced. They could go wherever you push in the address. Well, you're not it's not your app, right? It's not your robot cars. They're not mine either. So you can put a destination in there and that's where you go. So let's say some person has a warrant out for their arrest, right? And well, that's just some data, right? That is accessible to the world's biggest supercomputer that now is running cars. Why does it have to be, connected to every other computer on Earth and knows like, whoa? Oh, so you can see if somebody's got a warrant out for them. Well, then where would that? Oh, we're not going to, I was going over there to go to the beach. It's like, oh, your new destination is the police station. It's like, yeah, there seemed to be a flaw in a robo-taxi idea, you know. Yeah, thank you for being a Lyft customer. You are now under arrest and the doors are locked. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the end of you. See you later. This new technology doesn't sound that awesome to me. So that's something to think about that I wanted to bring up on the old things are gonna be great in the new great, great, great. Oh, yeah? Aren't those Big Brothers cars that are driving around? Yeah. Okay. Uh, okay, let's talk about another side of the symbol, like a dartboard. You see them, it's like, "Oh, man," but everything's a sign of symbol. Sometimes it's super complex, right? It's like, "What is it?" I love to get into it and be like, I just heard during the week dartboard. I'm like, oh, you want me to go decode another thing? Like, okay. So let's talk about the dartboard. A very interesting one. Uh, First of all, it's circular, right? So it's sort of like a map of the world, right? So it's like, what's under the dome. There's that. And then there's also, it's like a wheel, like wheel of time, right? Okay. So, never ending and so on. So, uh, and then also This is about the spiritual situation and spiritual progress and timeline. That's what our life is, spiritual, right? It's not this rest of its side stuff. So the first time you go see God is to the uh how do I say that? Non-physical form way, like you don't go see Jesus, right? You see the formless God, right? Oh, that's God. That's like God the Father, like wow, you know. And so the dartboard is, because it has the circles and stuff, and it has, and the way the lines are going to the circle is like a perspective that makes it look like a tunnel. The dartboard looks like a tunnel, like you could go into it, you see? And so it also represents like the halo, like the star, our soul hole, right? The wormhole that we go in and out of. So the first time you go through God, you experience that, like going through a tube to, you know, go out to God and then get tossed back in again. And so it's a funny experience the first time because you're like, oh yeah, I met with God. And during that time, you're like, I know everything. You saturate it on, you get 100% of it. When you're with God, you don't get, there's no, I got 50% because no, you get all of it. But it gets wiped as you come back in to the body. Otherwise, they don't go together. If infinity and the not and the finite, they don't go together. So you just be amazed human, you never come out of it, like because they don't go together. So you have to get weight back enough so you can get it back in the body of function at all. That's the first time is, so that's the dartboard, right? Now the center of the dartboard, there's a red dot. That sort of like the way Beer Baba represents, like, the God realized soul. He has circular things too, like that. And the center is like when it gets a color in it, red. Then it's like, oh, then it's got a color. It got God in the middle. You see, is in you. It's not like it doesn't have anything. It has something. It has God. So. Kel, this was my question from a few days ago. How come I don't remember? Yeah, no, yeah, I didn't hear that question, but yeah, no, your memory gets wiped. It's a This whole memory wipe thing is constant, isn't it? You can't remember every second of every day. You can't remember what happened last, 3 Wednesdays ago. Go at 10 a.m. Yeah, no way. You know, it's a constant memory wipe. It never ends, and the further you get from it in time from a moment, the more memory wipe hits it, unless it was, you know, anchored by some miraculous or meaningful experience. It gets wiped. Even then, it's hard to hang on to it fully. It's constant. Very difficult, and just the memory wipe is constant proves it. I don't have to prove memory wipe. It's happening now. So what you say it's not happening, it's happening now. You see, so yes, it's always a factor. So yes, Kelly, that definitely is what's going on. We take it to the light. Only remember not wanting to leave. Exactly. You can't remember what happened. That's what I'm saying. So that dartboard is a representation of that experience. So that's the first time we meet with God. In fact, the first time you experiences that is going from the 0 to the 1. That's there is some visual to it, but the visual is actually 100% remembered by me on the fourth plane. Like, oh, that's a nod. You know, when I meet with Bear Pablo or Jesus or Gabriel, I was like, oh, that's God. Like that's just the formless God. Okay, but have when you go from the 0 to the 1 plane, same similar experience. You do have the first meeting with that feeling of God the first time, and it feels like you made it all the way because, well, that's God, that's an aspect of God, but it's just like turning the switch on. It's not filling it with God, it's just turning it on. So your Kundalini rising or whatever, that's just the initial first 0 to first play. But the feeling of it is, wow. But that one gets 100% memory wiped, basically. That one, you remember nothing, nothing, nothing. You remember all I remember is you don't wanna leave, and it was perfect bliss, like, and you have a resonation of that to the point where it makes you continue on, but you don't have the full information of it, like, it does get wiped, you see? So, yeah, that's 0 to 1, and then 4, you come back from having that experience, "Oh, that was a tunnel, that was" the whole you remember that, and you remember a lot of what you're out there, and come back, you're like, "Oh, man, I remember stuff this time, that was different from the other," but it's not the end or nothing like this, you hit the miracle zone, but I didn't know about the time loop and just so many other things, and I just didn't, until you meet on the 7th plane with actual, individual, uh, characters of God, Mary Baba, Jesus Christ, Gable, the individualized character aspects of God at the highest level, the absolute highest level. Because then you become a character in the spiritual hierarchy. You're at the highest, you can interact with them directly. Didi, they put it in our, oh wait, put it in our food off the subject a little. They use the baby oil to wipe memory. I think the memory wipe is just a aspect of our situation that is, you know, invisible and a part of the common law. It's not reducible to anything else, and I don't think they could do like Men in Black, like, "Choop, your memory's right." I don't unless they have the spiritual I mean, they do have the spiritual if you watch Westworld, there are times when they just knock them all out. "Hey, one of the drones is misfunctioning, turn them off," And they go up there making sure there's not a real character in the vicinity, and they handle it, they do stuff. Maintenance type stuff, I don't wanna say that don't happen or whatever, but in that aspect, but God don't make mistakes behind the scenes and stuff. So these laws are irrefutable, laid down in what is the new life. That's what it is. Alan, I go to the local dump to take out trash, and almost every time I go, there's a guy checking people is saying, "I'll repeat, love God, love your neighbor, forgive and forget." Aw. And when I walk by the creches, every time I walk by an individual, "You're forgiven. You're forgiven." I saw this guy sitting there last time. He was just getting off his stuff at the beach. He was watching me do it. He was laughing his head off watching me. I was like, "Good, we're having a little character review here." But no, you have to forgive them. You see, and you have to forgive them instantly. Like I did you're apostate today. Oh, well, oh, I'm sorry. I did. You're forgiven immediately. Great. Don't make that mistake again. I won't make that mistake again. Great. Said all the words, sign the trust, put your proof. Ding. Yeah. Forgive immediately. Like, I'd like to forgive you if you'd like to work for God. Okay. Oh, you are? You're one of them? Okay, you're forgiven. Hey, ugh. All right. See you later soon, hopefully. Okay, 9 years maximum. All right. Okay, fine. Oh, they drive me nuts after a while, don't they? That's wonderful. Thanks for sharing that, Alan. Kelly, I had another one. A tunnel. God said I had a choice, good or evil. Basically, that's it. That's it. That's coming in and out of the star or halo, coming into the dome. That's it. That's our choice, good or evil. Let's find out who you are. That's everyone. That's how you. That's everyone. That's thank you. That's you do remember something very. You remember the only rule that's important. Memory wiped except for the only important rule. Okay, go play the game. But the next time you go through all from the 0 to the 1, oh, the 4th, you retain a lot more, including the experience, and it visually has a look of the dartboard. I'm telling you, it's strange. It is like a tunnel. It's very, it is. So anyway, because I guess it's like a hole you go through the star. It's just interesting, like, because if you look at a star, right? That's right. Uh, if you look at a star through a visual thing, you actually can't see the blank firmament, can you? You can't see it. You see light. It's a hole through there. It is a possible hole, right? But it's a hole for an individual. It's only for one, and and it's automated by God to happen on certain actions that are tallied constantly. Impossible, really. God is watching over each individual to that level. And that's God. That's impossible. That's so far past impossible. And that's unfathomable. That's far past what we could ever understand. It is so far past. You don't fear that, whoever that is. You don't what? You don't fear respect to bend your knee to that to put you in here. What is wrong with you? That's something wrong with you. You should stay here until that is, whatever that is corrected. You need to stay until that's corrected. Okay. Kelly, that's funny. Dee Dee. uh, they said 5 drops is a complete wipe for the. Oh, interesting. I will see. Speaking of apostate and apologies, I'll see none from Kelly. Speaking of typical. So let's see what else we got here. Oh, so the dartboard. All right. So in the middle of the dartboard, there's a dot of red, then there's green, then there's 20 triangles. So 20 triangles, 20 times 3 is 60. And then there's, right, the green thing, a circle, another circle, and basically a circle of squares. So 64. So it's a calendar as saying the point is to get to the middle dot. We don't count God. God doesn't have a number. Zoop. You see? So it actually is saying a lot in the dartboard, another silent symbol. I wanted to decode because everything is saying the same thing. Like, are you in the mob? What's a mob? Right? Mob. O-M-M-O. What's your M-O? Obe. The bees of the Obe. The mob. Right? Read it backwards. Yeah, that's them. That's another word that means we is mob, right? It's a group of hive-minded individuals. Like what? There's no separate hive or mob. There's just this, like it's, the U.S. government moves basically does almost all human trafficking and all human suffering and all, uh, moving of gunpowder and weapons and drugs and creation of them and all that stuff. That's what the biggest military watches over. All the evil things, you and keeping the story hidden that factories are real and that everything's coming out of this, you know, cornucopia point that no one can see. If you saw the cornucopia point and everything popping out of there, and that's where everything come from, the factories are, yeah, there's some factories, but mainly they're fake. You would just, fuck, what is, what? It's like you would know God is real immediately. Screw the game. It would just be like, and if you could do math, I'm an accountant. You'd be like, where is all this stuff coming from? How can there be a 17 million square foot building in one city in China? 17 million people have no idea. 17 million square foot where you just go in there of small shops with each one having like 100. Oh, I gotta turn this off. Sorry. Hold on. Oh, got this funky old timer that the stereo's on. It's not because it's on the timer. It's easy to hit the switch and turn everything on. But the time must have hit. Whoops. So I was saying, they're that's what the military, the mob is a group doing a certain portion of the work here that's tied into the whole hive. It's not like they're no criminals like that. It's they know everything what everyone's doing. No, that's all fake. You're sorry for being rude. I notarized and sent it to him. Good. Thank you, Kelly. Mistakes are made. And that's how we learn and that's how we move on. I appreciate that. And it wasn't just against me. So putting that into like the Jesus Christ, like for Mary would be great. People would appreciate that. And I'm sure welcome me with open arms to think about it. Ella, this is a 390 square acre building that is 390 square acre. Yeah. It's it's like who could have made such a structure and not be one of the wonders of the world that is filled with so many products? What? How could there be? That would, if you added up all the lists, where would all these places that create things be physically? Where? That's one city, one building for, you know, ordering each product in the thousands, a wholesale market. It's not a market where you can go buy products physically themselves, where you go buy thousands of each individual one. It's like, that's not even remotely possible. What? Come on. So, all this basic math that if you just take a basic look at it, none of it works out. It's like none of the stories are true that they were told. None of them. So they're kind of hiding all that. Is basically that's what the whole military is for. So anyway, that's the dartboard. Hey, Jay, if you get in here, I forgot to mention this a long time ago, but listen, you sent me a cross to the mail. I got it by my bed on my altar, Jay. If you listen to this later, I know you're not in here. And so, anyway, God bless your brother. Thank you for that. I want to see if I have any thing else here. Oh, if you're okay, well, it's not. If you're in your Tesla, you're getting driven to the cops, right? And you don't, and you try and get out. Well, them electric seats. How do you know they got a taser in them? You know what I'm saying? Like, how easy would it be to just, how easy? So it's just an electric device. It's not very physically big. Anyway. D, I was making you a rosary. Now I have to think of something else. You don't have to. He didn't give me a rosary. He gave me a cross. I didn't get a rosary from him. So no, keep with that. Make the cord strong because, man, that's all they want to do is break that thing. I cannot be more serious. If I break that thing, then I become the new devil. No thanks. Okay, we got through a lot today. Thanks for being here for that and sticking with me through all this. And I think we're very close now. We're almost ready to have the new little one come through, and we'll continue with preparing this, document. Al and I will get that done, and everyone's, your putting it into your 2 cents is cool. That way you'll see how to do it if it comes up in your world. So okay. Really, again, I mean, this place, and this without your support, I'm just saying it's I don't want to waste my time on saying what they're up to and waste and all the stuff I got to overcome and stuff. Is at this point I could do a whole show on it every week. I'm just that's what they want me to spend my time on. And I'm not going to do it. I got to do soul coming through into a body, and that's what I focus on. That's it. And I just want to say your support is absolutely invaluable, so that I can focus on that. Thank you. I really mean that because that's all I want to do, and so you make it possible. They try and make it not possible, and you make it possible. So that's the battle right there. And we're winning because I'm on here able to say this stuff and look out for this new soul coming through. So we're winning thanks to you. And I just want to wrap it up by saying thank you to you. Oh, thank you. Uh, so let's see what else we have to say. And I just want to say God bless you. And there's just there's a triarchy, right? Name of Jesus Christ, God the Father, and the Holy Spirit. Watch over each and every one of you, your families. I'll see you next week. And thanks for the support. I really it's what's carrying me through. It ain't easy. And so thank you so much. God bless you, each one. Next week. Thank you, Pauletta.